team.
Alright, we're recording. Josie, on you.
On me, on team? On team, on team? What does he say?
Team on three, team on me.
Team on
1,
three,
2,
team on me. Is that Pat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do
Shout
it?
out, Pat.
Do you do it?
When I'm listening to the podcast?
What are you doing? Fix the mic now. No, like move it closer to you. Oh my
He's
god.
gonna be like, he was standing up to be like Will Levis at the combine. He was like, I have a cannon.
Well,
It's all for me.
according to Cooper, Will Levis is down to the ground. Third leg.
It's like
but-
10.
No, it is not.
Crazy. Y'all are tripping. Alright, anyway.
Okay.
I'm keeping all this in. You guys know how I roll.
Alright, ready?
Okay.
Team on me, team on three.
1, 2, 3, 2.
Welcome back, finally, to the Second and Short podcast where the entire playbook is open. I'm Josiah.
I'm Cooper.
And I'm Hayden.
And as a reminder, for those of you who listen to audio only, the link for the Spotify will be in the description.
So, yeah, first episode in over a month. They haven't heard from us
Yeah.
since
Radio silent, other than TikTok
other than TikTok.
and
TikTok.
YouTube Shorts. And
Yeah, but it's
Instagram
it's
Reels.
same content. Just yeah. We have been doing stuff though.
making moves.
Yeah. What does since we're talking about Pat? What does Pat always say? Up to something season. Yeah. We're not about to sign a multi-million-dollar deal with ESPN, but
Yeah, we broke the
we
Aaron
are
Rodgers
up to
news.
something
We broke the Aaron Rodgers news.
Did
so
we?
that was big. Yeah, we did.
after like 20 insiders.
Yeah. Well, AB broke it first, obviously.
Facts,
Like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
So.
Whenever I report something after seeing it on Twitter, because that's what reporting is, I should always just credit CTESPN.
Yes,
Yeah.
naturally. I tag him in everything I tweet, which I've never tweeted. So
He always gets the news first, so.
he does. He does.
I'm thinking
And-
about just like starting to tweet something random, like at the same time every day.
Yeah.
Like, and just
Well, his newest thing is he apparently did with
The governor of California, yeah.
So I mean, good for him, I guess.
crazy
Wow.
stuff going on in
Yeah.
Los Angeles right now.
Dude, if you don't follow AB on X, what are you doing? Like
So good.
endless entertainment. Dude.
Not
Never
is so
stops.
good. Not what's happening in LA. AB's Twitter. AB's Twitter is so good.
Yeah.
Now that we're caught up on current events.
Yeah. What else we want to talk about?
AB's Twitter, California.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
pretty
see
much it.
Riley Gaines versus Simone Biles. It's been going crazy.
I saw something about Simone Biles. I didn't read up on it at all.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy. I should just look it up.
Yeah,
That's it.
alright.
Okay.
But
We'll see. Okay, we're all three of us are Steelers fans today. So let's break the ice. What do you think of Rodgers?
Love it.
Yeah. What do you think of the deal?
Love it.
Cooper, what do you know about the deal?
1 year,
Mhm.
13 million.
13.25? 13.75?
All right, keep going.
No, I'm asking. Do you remember? 2.5 or
Something like
7.5?
that, yeah.
Something like that. And then it's 19 million with incentives of how he plays. And
19
how far
and a
the
half,
Steelers
yeah.
How
go.
much guaranteed?
10 million.
Yeah,
Which
perfect. Nice.
Aaron gets his little
Stuff.
PR move that he's playing for 10 M's, as he likes to say.
He is?
And I know a lot of people hate him. Josie, you know I love him. Mike Florio, who, speaking of hate, Mike Florio hates Aaron Rodgers. Mike Florio started picking on him, saying how he wasn't playing for 10 M's. Like, all right, chill, bro. It's a good deal. Like, you can put the vendetta aside. You don't have to even say he's a good person. Like,
Yeah.
you can just say.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, as you know, there are some people that I'm related to that refuse to think Aaron Rodgers has remotely any skill just because.
Because I don't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a family event on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that.
You should wear an Aaron Rodgers jersey.
You want to give me your Kenny
Kenny
Pickett
Pickett?
jersey, and then we'll put like duct tape.
I'm gonna put a new nameplate over
I'm
it that
doing
says
the same
Rodgers.
thing.
Yeah,
And
when
I'm
you
gonna
said
wear-
when you said you're buying a nameplate though,
I'll
you're doing like the duct tape thing, right?
no. Probably
Oh.
get like I know somebody who does like embroidery, so I'll probably.
Oh,
actually
so
have
you're
to
gonna
stitch it
have
on.
like a legit one.
Yeah, because I want. Well, I mean, it's not a
Well,
legit one. It's
typically-
not a real Kenny Pickett jersey. It's
None
it's
of our jerseys are legit.
It's a Chinese wholesale
Yeah,
Kenny
yeah,
Pickett
yeah.
jersey.
So
Because I like number 8. That's the reason I got Kenny Pickett. 8's been my favorite number since before high school, and so like I was like super excited about Kenny Pickett because I love number 8, and so now it's a good transition to. Even if the year sucks, guess what? Rodgers played for the Steelers and I have a jersey.
I'm looking forward to seeing that then. So will your hookup just like kind of unembroider the Pickett?
I don't know for sure
Like-
what exactly they do. You could just stitch it over top as long as you
Oh.
have an actual piece of fabric that would fit. like over the top.
So you'll do like a black piece over it, and then interesting. I know. So you and I have been talking about this for a while because we actually had a little handshake agreement on you selling me the Pickett jersey for some chump change. If Rodgers didn't sign.
Oh yeah.
So you and I have talked about this for a while, and until it happened last week, I had just always pictured like it was going to be like one of the comedic jerseys where you just throw tape over and write in Sharpie like that's. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that now.
That's what I'm doing with mine. I'm doing a duct tape.
Yeah. Eric owes me $5, by the way. Eric Cox. Because he told me like 2 weeks ago he's so adamant that Rodgers wasn't signing. I was like, dude, he is. And so he owes me $5. So.
Cooper, you've lost some money on the podcast before, right? Right?
So,
Bo Nix is your sleeper. Probably going to go in like the second or third round, right?
second round, yeah.
Did he tell you about our little wager on draft night?
I mean, I was
He
here.
was here. He was here.
Yeah.
We don't need to bring that up.
Oh,
It's
but
crazy.
Listen, I got student loans to pay. We don't need to bring it up, okay? Okay. All right.
Well, it's crazy that just Loveland went in the top 10, but not the actual top 10 in the draft.
stupid. But I'm gonna get my money back on it because I've drafted Loveland in every single dynasty league. So I'm going to return a profit somehow, some way.
I had a thought on Rodgers. Yeah, I mean, I love it. We've been calling this since the end of last season, really. This was the guy that Hayden and I talked about that we wanted. I think it makes the entire offense better. I watched a compilation video recently of all his play action from last year. The dude's play action ability is insane. Like, his play action is so good. It's really one of the underrated parts of his career, I think, as a whole. Just the way that he sells everything, even with, like, head movements and hands and all that. I think that's going to be great for the run game. And obviously the threat of one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, regardless of lack of mobility, he's still one of the most accurate quarterbacks ever. And so, like, I think that dynamic coming into an offense where they want to run the football and they want to involve tight end 1 and wide receiver 1 exclusively, you don't need a top end wide receiver 2 or anything else. Because, like, I think the ball runs through the running game, DK Metcalf, Pat Freiermuth. And I think that's the way that they want to win games.
Yeah,
He's more agile than Ben was towards the end of Ben's career.
It'll be the most dynamic offense the Steelers have had since 2018. That last year of prime Big Ben before his elbow went. Le'Veon was sitting out that year, but AB and Juju. There's an argument. Yeah, James Conner. There's an argument that can be made that Rodgers is the most talented thrower of the football of all time. I'm not going to put him in that GOAT conversation because guys like Brady, Montana, Mahomes, Manning exist. But in terms of just throwing the ball, Aaron Rodgers probably is the best. He's one of one.
So you think Mahomes over Rodgers just because of the Super Bowls?
If we're talking about legacy and everything, yeah, Super Bowl.
Mahomes retired right now. You put him over Rodgers all the time.
Yeah, what we've seen from Mahomes is dominant.
It's enough to prove that if he were to play for 20 years, he would surpass every single.
It's taken a super team with him not having a left tackle to beat him.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous what we've seen. So,
Yeah.
I'm pretty realistic about expectations. I mean, I'm a Mason Rudolph fan. He's definitely a better quarterback than Mason, gives the team a better shot than Mason, but guess what? We're going to be in the same situation next year. Still going to need to draft a quarterback.
Trading up, dude. They have potentially 5 third-round picks next year.
They have 12 picks in total.
Yeah, they're trading up in the first. Promise. They're going to trade top 10.
Is it ludicrous to say that even if we make the playoffs, I don't want to trade up?
But it's a quarterback, dude. Like,
I
you
don't
can't
care.
just sit. You can't sit at the
There'll
end
be
of the
somebody
first.
there. Probably there.
Yeah,
Probably
They're overlooking Will Howard too.
Tyler Shutt.
Oh my
We
god.
have Will Howard.
Yeah, a 6th-round pick who was on the fringes of getting benched last year for Ohio State. The Will Howard Kool-Aid, no, he was. The Will Howard Kool-Aid is ridiculous. Because guys, saying Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick too is not a logical way to look at things and be like, yeah, Will Howard might be a franchise quarterback. There are some tools there. He was a liability for Ohio State last year. Are there things to like? Does he have potential as a future starter? Maybe. But to say that the 6th-round draft pick, who was awful for half the year, is just going to be the franchise savior, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say that he is, but also at the same time, my argument is, even if you look outside the quarterback position, there's players every single year that get miscalculated in the draft. You look at even just recently, Puka. Okay, Puka's a top 10 pick if you redraft that draft, maybe top 5. and he was taken in the 5th round of that draft.
How
look at-
often are 6th-round quarterbacks though?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I said, outside of the quarterback thing. Like,
I thought you said it not
no,
even.
no, but like
Okay.
even outside the first round, like you look outside the first 2 rounds, it's like I think I pointed this
Well,
out.
if that's the case, then why do we need to trade up for a quarterback?
I'm saying they will. I didn't say we need to.
Oh, okay, all right. Just clarifying, because yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think.
And
that
I like
it's-
Will Howard.
yeah.
I think that there is potential, but
I think I pointed this out on draft night as like a trivia question, but like the amount of quarterbacks in the last 15 years that were selected in the 2nd round, don't quote me on that 15 years, it's like 6. It's like 7 now that they took Tyler Shuck in the 2nd round of this year's draft. Quarterbacks don't get taken in the 2nd round because the quarterback influx pushes them into the
Yeah.
first team, their 2nd round picks. But like there's guys in the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round that have turned out to be pretty decent quarterbacks. So I just think that I don't think him going in the 6th round is any indication of his talent. I think that talent-wise, he's probably a 3rd or 4th round pick who fell into the 6th round. But I'm not going to sit here and say that he's going to be the future of the franchise.
and I think that was the argument for Shador even going in the 1st round this year. Was he a 1st-round pick? No, he was really more of a 2nd, maybe 3rd if you're lucky. But when you look at some of the other teams or the other players who have been 1st-round quarterbacks, Shador is better than some of them, which is where in a weak quarterback draft class, there could have been a logical argument for Shador going in the top 32 when he does have that 2nd round grade. Because you're right, if you don't go in the 1st round, there's a good chance you're not hearing your name till day 3, maybe even round 5.
Yeah.
So
At the same time, from what I was saying earlier, I think the Brock Purdy / Tom Brady argument is full of holes.
don't
Like,
put
it's
Brock
not-
Purdy in the same breath as
No,
Tom
I'm
Brady.
saying because he was a 7th round
I
pick,
know,
Mr.
but-
Relevant. Like,
I know, but
fine. Tom Brady and Deshaun Watson. They in the same breath?
I mean, Deshaun Watson was amazing for
Oh,
the
he was
Houston Texans.
incredible.
He was better than Mahomes.
I was
Some
more
might
making a
say.
connection between Robert Kraft and the
Well,
massage parlors.
how's Brady?
Oh.
How is Brady associated with that?
Because he kisses him on the lips.
Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
Show me a picture.
It's
I've
a
never.
video. It's after the Super Bowl.
Show
when he
me.
kisses him
We
on the
see.
mouth.
I've seen the kids. I've never seen the Robert Kraft.
Dude, you've seen the kids one, then that's all you need to see. He makes out with his son, was getting a massage.
He does not make out with him. He gives him a little.
And then after that, he says, "Is that all I get?" And then the kid comes back and gives him a like, dude. Listen,
A lot
that's
of-
insane.
a lot of things can be forgiven when you are the goat.
We just go, it's crazy.
Most things can be forgiven.
All right. So, he gave up on finding that video pretty
I'm
quickly.
pulling it up now.
All right. So we are going to do a draft today. Guys, 12 minutes in. Let's go. Let's go.
We got that quick.
We're back.
Our
Yeah.
little spiel there.
Yeah. Totally unplanned. We love drafts. Despite I know some people get fatigued of drafts, but most people love them. That's pretty much what podcasts are about. Drafts. Go ahead.
You want me to turn around so you guys can see it?
I mean, yeah, you can't show the thing though, otherwise. All right, let's see.
It's not a makeout, but it's definitely a kiss. You
It's-
saw
it's-
what I saw,
It's a pack.
It's
It's,
a-
a pack.
dude. He's still kissing.
Listen,
He's still kissing on the mouth.
If I just won my 6th Super Bowl with you, I would give you a pack. So
you can miss me with that.
6 Super Bowls, 6 Super Bowls.
You defending it is a little sus, brother. That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
6 Super Bowls. You would be surprised the stuff I do, and I think you would.
Oh, no.
You would do some stuff for 6 Super Bowls too.
Wasn't a Gia Duddy it.
Any,
Oh no.
well, I mean, Gia Duddy versus Robert Kraft. The conversation has taken a turn.
I mean,
All right.
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, we're doing a draft. So players since the 2000, we're going to do a fantasy style roster. So 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 individual defensive player, and 1 kicker. We're leaving out the big uglies. Sorry, O-line. A lot of really good linemen have retired this year. Like not Hall of Fame, but very good. Ramczyk, Armstead.
Yeah.
Been quite a few. But
Here's my thought from this. So, with us doing this random team spinner like we usually do,
yeah,
I think that we could all select from the specific team a different position if we wanted, but no research. So not allowed to Google anything. You just have to go off.
All right, make sure he's not,
Yeah.
because he's gonna get.
I
You're
I
about
can
to-
see yours
Huh?
too. I can see yours too. So don't.
I know, but
Yeah.
Josie knows me. Josie
Yeah.
knows I don't need the research. The
I don't
research
need
is
the
up here,
research.
bro.
I don't need the research.
So we'll just go.
You don't even need your phone. You can put your phone down.
Mm-hmm.
Put it down here.
Ah. Look what I'm at. Look where I'm at.
I'll watch him. I'll watch him. We're good.
Yeah, thanks.
Josie, he's about to get slaughtered.
Absolutely not.
And again, this is players who played in the year since 2000, so like they don't have to be drafted since 2000. So like for instance, Rod Woodson would count under this because he played into 2001.
Yeah.
And again, they have to have played for the team.
A
Actual
regular
in the-
season
yes,
game.
regular
So
season game.
we
no
use the
practice
example
squad.
like the kickers that we have the Steelers. Let's say Josie gets first pick, he goes Boswell. Cooper has the second pick, he goes Sean Schweischem, who he probably doesn't even
I
remember.
remember him.
Well, we're not going all from the same position. Remember?
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
so, yeah.
And then Josh Scobie would be the third in that
Yeah.
example. But
Um,
Josie, you love Josh Scobie, right?
no.
No?
I would go Jeffrey though. I would go Jeffrey with that second pick.
Over Schweischem.
No, that's.
I was gonna say
yeah.
I'm taking Schweischem.
Because you got to think about accuracy versus leg strength,
And he was
it's
still in
it's
his prime.
Because Sean Sweetum might not have hit a kick over 51 yards in his career.
Plus, I mean, he's just a friend of the podcast.
Yeah, well, he has to be
Yeah.
after your dad slaughtered his knee. So
All right, draft.
Draft.
Um,
Just like Will Levis slaughtered.
Oh no. Here we go.
so we'll start out with. Do you want to go first, Cooper? Since you're
No.
next. No. Okay.
Weekend goes first.
Yeah, so we'll just go across. We'll give Hayden the first pick, and then whenever we go to the next team, Cooper will get the first pick. We'll just go across here. So I'll go Hayden, Cooper, me. Next time it'll go Cooper, me, Hayden. Next time it'll go me, Hayden, Cooper. Just keep going in that order for the different teams that we have. So unless we want to snake it, but that doesn't matter to me.
I don't really
So,
care.
Yeah. So all right, first spin. Oh, and before we say this, do you want me to take? So there's an option here to take out the team that you land on, so you don't land on them again.
I think so.
I'm good with whatever.
Yeah.
For some of us, it might get a little bit hard without research. So
All right, so Hayden.
Yeah.
Oh, also, did you mention the spots that we're taking?
yes, I
The
did.
fantasy? Okay,
Yeah.
great. We are taking one defensive player and one kicker. First team is Tennessee Titans. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, quarterback. Not a lot of options. Running back, there are plenty of options.
At
You
least
could
two,
go
three that I
three.
can think of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Eddie George, CJ2K, and then obviously King Henry.
You can go with DeMarco Murray too, if you're going his time in Dallas too. So
Yeah.
I would say he's still fourth on
Yeah,
the list
yeah.
of guys. that
But
you
no,
just
you're right.
mentioned,
That's
but,
another competent
yeah.
name. And then you saying that makes me like feel like really like going digging down and like thinking. But wide receiver could go.
You're gonna miss one, and I'm gonna pick him.
AJ Brown,
Better.
Corey Davis.
No.
Are you talking about that guy from who was the one who reached the Super Bowl?
Derek Mason.
Wasn't he decent? I don't really remember.
Kevin
his career.
Tyson.
Kevin
Yeah,
Tyson,
yeah.
that name.
Just wait. You guys are missing a huge name here, and I can't wait to laugh in your face when I pick him.
Didn't T.O. play for the Titans for a bit?
No, Randy Moss.
Moss.
Yeah.
Well, I knew one of those big
Yeah.
names did, but
Was Randy Moss in the 2000s? No.
Yeah.
The Titans. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he played a lot. He played.
He
had a long career.
98 through like 06 with the Vikings. I mean, Randy Moss, I think, is a unanimous top 3 wide receiver, maybe the second best. I'll go Randy Moss.
Good pick.
I'm gonna go King Henry.
So who are you talking about, Moss?
I'll say it after Josie goes.
Well, then why didn't you go it?
Because
All right.
I didn't. I thought you were gonna pick Henry.
You know who he's talking about? He's talking about Dude, I'm
Delaney
blanking on his
Walker.
name because of I actually thought of
Jared
that name.
Cook.
That was the second name I thought of was Delaney Walker. The first name I thought of, I still might take this guy,
Marcus Mariota.
Jarrell Casey, as a defensive player. Jarrell Casey was a monster. I'm not saying I'm going to take him, but like he was incredibly good at the D tackle position. So, kicker. I'm trying to think. They had
Rob Baronis.
Rob Baronis. That was the name I was trying to think of.
Former
yeah.
Steeler. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean tight ends. I mean you look at Delaney Walker. I'd say that's the only notable name I can
Johnny
think of.
Smith.
Johnny Smith. Yeah, he was drafted by them, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wide receivers. We already took Randy. I mean AJ Brown wouldn't be a terrible pick, but I feel like we're gonna get a
There's a
lot of
better
teams
one.
with wide receivers.
There's a better
Then why
one.
didn't you
Is it
take
better?
him?
Yeah,
Guys,
that's
I
what
wanted
I mean.
Henry.
This is gonna be so.
I wanted Henry.
Cooper, if you actually like make me feel like, oh, that's a really good pick, I'll be impressed. I don't think it's gonna be better than Randy Moss, but I'll be impressed.
No, my receiver's not as good as Randy Moss.
All right, I'll still.
No.
All right, I'm gonna go with CJ2K. Not just because of the 2,000 rushing yards, but because he also, with his receiving yards, I think either up until last year,
2,500.
the only player to ever eclipse 2,500 scrimmage yards in a season. And yes, it was for one season, unless Saquon just did it. Which
I don't think
he
Saquon
did.
got there.
Yeah.
Saquon would have been around what 2,100 rushing, give or take, and
Just
then
under, because he just missed the 50 yards. Missed
and then
the
you and I in Naples were researching his receiving. He wasn't really used as a receiver this past year. I don't think he got too far over 300. So
And so CJ2K is still the only player to ever eclipse 2,500 yards in a season.
CJ 2.5K.
Yeah. And I mean, like, there's no way to quantify that. I mean, you look at the 40-yard dash that he had, but just the speed is just a huge X factor in the receiving and the running game. I think that's. He could be my kick returner. He could be he's very versatile in this. So I think that's an easy pick. All right, go ahead.
Julio.
Oh, that's a solid one.
that's a good-
I'll
that's a
give you
good
that.
answer. Yeah.
Could also go
Props.
Nuke Hopkins, Andre Johnson.
You taking Julio over Randy though?
No.
No, he said that. He said not
he
over
did. Okay.
Randy, but
Yeah.
yeah, because Tennessee's like one of those washed uniform places. Because you have the DeAndre Hopkins, the Julio Jones,
Yeah.
Andre Johnsons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we're still missing some. But.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
No, not just LA, but we'll go with the Chargers franchise because again, it says LA Chargers, but we'll go with the Chargers franchise, so San Diego as well. So
It's me who has the first pick, isn't it?
it is.
Okay. Quarterback. So you
Philly
could
Rivers.
you could go
Justin
Breeze.
Herbert.
Could go Breeze or Drew Brees.
Go Breeze. Go Breeze.
Yeah.
Go Breeze.
No, I'm not going Breeze. Could go tight end. Huge tight end there.
Who?
Antonio Gates.
Yeah, okay.
Ladarius Green.
Okay. Kicker. I don't really care about
Dude,
that.
the one game he
Defense.
played with Ben.
I have a
Don't remember
clarifying
what part.
question. So, I have Randy Moss. The player can play in the 90s, but do they have to play with the Chargers in the 2000s?
No,
Okay.
no. As long as they played for the franchise and
Okay.
have played into that, yeah, that's a valid question.
All right, then I'm chilling.
Yeah.
At first, I forgot that we were doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know where I'm going. Yeah.
I have an idea.
Well, you're gonna go there, right?
Maybe.
Cooper, we need a shot clock.
Ooh, Stevie Johnson. That's kind of a deep cut. He was really good. Like, people forget how good Stevie Johnson actually was.
Can I ask a date for a player of when he played?
Sure.
LT.
LT
Yeah.
did.
2000.
LaDainian Tomlinson. I thought you were
That's
talking
who
about
I.
Lawrence
That's
Taylor.
who I was
Yeah.
thinking originally because I was
He-
like, yeah, go Breeze. I'm
Dude,
like,
he won the MVP in 2009?
I don't think he did win the MVP.
The year he had 31 touchdowns?
I don't think he did.
I thought he did.
Maybe.
Because the most recent running back
He
to do
definitely
was
was.
Adrian Peterson.
2006 was that year. Can I look it up just to see?
Yeah.
I don't think he won MVP.
Oh, it was
I'll
2000
probably go
yeah,
with
it was
LaDainian
2006.
Tomlinson.
That's who
Yeah,
I
that's a
would have
valid.
wanted. So
I'm keeping my other running back spot open, so I do think that hopefully we land on this team.
there's still 30 teams left, and you're gonna keep your running back open for.
Mhm.
All right.
Because
So who are you going instead? Josie, you were right. He won. Ready for this? He won. This is. I don't know how this isn't talked about more. He was Pro Bowl,
Yeah.
All Pro,
first team All Pro.
yeah,
Yeah.
MVP,
Yep.
Offensive Player of the
Yep.
Year, and Walter Payton of the Year all in one
That's
season.
nuts.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That
He
needs
was
to
so
get.
good that year, dude. He was
He
unstoppable.
was throwing
You know how
touchdowns.
many
Yeah,
rushing touchdowns he had in that?
28, right?
28.
Yeah, and
He had
then
3 receiving touchdowns.
three
That's
rece-
insane.
and then one passing. I think that year too.
That's averaging like 2 touchdowns a game. That's insane.
How do we not talk about that year as one of the greatest years, not
It
just for
is.
running back, like
Fantasy wise,
and like
imagine
Josie,
the fantasy points.
we've made jokes about like the Walter Payton Man of the Year thing, but the fact that he won Offensive Player of the Year, Walter Payton Man of the Year, and MVP, that's hilarious.
Oh That's awesome. I love that.
Thanks, guys.
Good pick.
Yeah, that was a good
Thanks.
pick.
You weren't even alive in 2006. but-
I was alive
I
in
was
2006.
alive.
I wasn't alive for 3 days in 2006. And then on the 4th day, I rose.
On the-
Well, I came out on the 4th.
Better.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of defensive players here, man. I think of obviously like Antonio Cromartie and Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, but like I think that the clear answer here. I mean, it could go Drew Brees, but again, I feel like there's going to be quarterbacks that come along that maybe not statistically, but like maybe more prototypical if you think about it from that perspective. So I think Antonio Gates is the pick here. Just the 100 touchdowns by tight end. I think there's only 2 tight ends to ever do that, right?
That's what I was thinking. I was going to pick it first.
I don't even think. Did Gronk crack 100?
No, he didn't play
No.
long enough.
Yeah.
He only has like. Did he retire with exactly 69 or close
So
to?
Junior Seau played in the. Is that who you were thinking of?
I feel like you already said Gates.
I did. I'll stick with Gates. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, I thought for sure you were going Breeze. I mean, just a top 6 quarterback of all time.
Yeah. Antonio Gates is a Hall of Famer. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sweating it.
I mean, yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
bad pick by any means. Junior Seau, though, one of the greatest linebackers of all time.
Was he like a green dot type guy? He was a middle
Yeah.
linebacker, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
like over 2,000 tackles. Played for like 20 years. Like just ridiculous.
Passed.
Sideline to sideline leadership.
Passed right before he got in the Hall, right?
Yes,
The
because
year before.
his son,
Mhm.
CTE, dude was just an animal. Has a Super Bowl or 2, or I think he was there for at least 1, maybe 2 of New England's rings. Junior Seau, legend, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Which is kind of good because defense is so weird because like you can get cute with it. Like edge rushers, a very easy one to get caught up in and everything. So like, and you were mentioning Jarrell Casey, like that's not a bad pick, like great player, but there's just so many guys. So I'm glad I can just not worry about defense anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cooper, do you know who Junior Seau is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yep. Linebacker for the Chargers.
What was
2000s.
What was his ethnicity? You know?
Not white.
No, we talk about this all the time. How I have a proclivity towards these players. I love players that have this ethnicity.
Asian.
what was that word? Sorta.
Proclivity.
Add Polynesian sauce in front of it.
It's Polynesian. Polynesian players. I love Polynesian players. I love everything about them.
You know who? I know you're not a huge college guy. I wish Hawaii was good at college football. Like,
Well, I mean, let's be honest. BYU is kind of a Polynesian school.
yeah,
so
all
is
those
USC,
Western.
like, yeah.
But think about it. You just recruit all the Polynesian offensive and defensive line. You have your trenches built.
Yep.
And then get some quarterback that's fallen through the cracks in Southern California. Bang.
Yeah.
How are you not in the college football playoff in the next 3 years?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did I just fix Hawaii?
You might. You
Rainbow
may have.
Warriors football? I
You
think
may
so.
have, yeah.
Round 3.
All right, round 3. Well,
I know this has been chaotic,
not
but
really. We're still in round 1 technically because I haven't had a first pick yet.
yeah. I've had fun with it. This
Yeah.
has been a fun episode.
Yeah.
Fun first one back.
All right, so this will be an interesting one because this team has only existed since '95, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So you can basically pick any player in their franchise history. Quarterback, I'm skipping that one. Not even thinking twice about it.
Mark Brunell, put some respect on his name. The lefty. The
Yeah.
lefty with some wheels.
Wasn't he the hefty lefty?
No, that was Scott Lorenzen. Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
yeah,
He
rest
has
in
passed
peace, rest
away
in peace.
because he was a
Yeah.
little too hefty.
Yeah.
But-
Running back, there's a couple decent ones. I mean, obviously you think of Leonard Fournette. Obviously, is the probably.
That's the first one you thought of?
Who am I missing then?
MJD, Fred
Yeah,
Taylor,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so there's actually a good amount. But
TJ Yeldon.
I already have one.
I'm chatty today. I'm sorry.
Travis
I'm
Etienne.
couldn't get it.
Travis
Yeah.
Etienne.
Tank
Uh,
Bigsby.
You look at wide receiver. I mean, Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell, Allen Robinson was really good with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Justin Blackman.
I already have Antonio Gates at my tight end. Kicker, don't even bring his name up again.
You can have Mercedes Lewis if you want. We'll give them to you.
No. I think that I'm going to go on the defensive side of the ball. And sorry, Hayden, probably taking your guy. Jalen Ramsey with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You're not taking my guy at sale.
I was taking he took my guy.
That's true. Oh, you couldn't even take him. That's right. But Jalen
So-
Ramsey, in his time with Jacksonville, Jalen Ramsey came into the NFL and was immediately a top 5 corner in the league. Jalen Ramsey was locked down. As a Steelers fan, I know just how good Jalen Ramsey was because his peak was when he played against Big Ben.
Oh.
Like, just constant lockdown, constant menace. Talk getting any player's head. It didn't matter who it was. He could have gotten in Calvin Johnson's head of all people. Like I love the pick. I'm comfortable with that. So
Cooper, I'm gonna throw kind of a reverse in here for you. I'm so cocky right now. I'm gonna let you pick before me.
oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
I kind of needed the time. I'm thinking kickers. I don't want any of the
I
receivers.
think
Josh
I'm gonna
Lambo's a
surprise
good
you.
kicker. He's not great, but
Josh
he's good.
Scobie.
Josh, dude, I said don't bring his name up.
Tight end, I mean,
I've said his name 3
you
times.
could go Evan Ingram,
Good.
Ingram,
But-
Mercedes Lewis.
not Mercedes Lewis. Defensive, but I was gonna go Ramsey.
Ooh, you could go. Do you have a
Calais
quarterback
Campbell.
open?
Calais Campbell.
David Garrard,
No, I'm not taking a quarterback from the Jags.
or Byron Leftwich, and he play for
Yeah,
Jacksonville Jaguars.
First round pick in 03.
Mhm.
Marshall, Cooper, I'm
Dude.
buying you some time. Marshall had back-to-back first-round quarterbacks. Chad
Mm.
Pennington
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
Byron
Chad
Leftwich.
Pennington.
Isn't that
Yeah.
hilarious? Cooper, Calais Campbell.
I'm just going kicker. Josh Lambo.
You're going Lambo over Scobie.
Or Scobie. I don't
Scobie
know.
was
I don't
good.
know either
No,
of
it's-
them.
They're
Scobie
actually
was way
pretty
better
good with
than
the Jags.
Lambo.
Okay, Scobie.
Yeah.
Okay.
SCOB.
Lambo had like a season.
I mean, yeah, but Josh Scobie went to the Pittsburgh Steelers and was awful, and I hate that guy.
So 4 games,
I hate that guy.
like 3.5 games erase like a 12-year legacy. Yeah. Well, Cooper, you should have gone Calais Campbell. I'm not going to go him because I already have Junior Seau. I'm going to go Jamal Charles.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
But you didn't
I
have
go-
Jamal Charles play for the Jags.
I
for
couldn't
like
have any
a
running backs
season
anyway.
after he played for the Broncos.
Not even. It was like 2
Yeah.
games, but
Yeah.
it was regular
It
season.
was a season for the Broncos, wasn't it? It was a whole season,
Mm, yeah.
but
yeah,
it wasn't good.
Or
was not
honestly,
good.
did he even get a full season with either of them, or did he
I
just
don't
split time?
Yeah, he may have spent time. It wasn't long on either one. So,
Fell off quickly.
I'm very happy with my pick there.
and then he couldn't. And then
I am.
Okay.
And then they set him up to read the pick at the. Even though they know he had a learning disability.
Yeah, that was
So-
crazy.
Ooh, this is a good one.
I think that's one of your favorite draft moments of all time.
Corey mentions it all the time at work. He's like, the Kansas City Chiefs select, they trade two, no, the 49ers, they select Hail Chief. Like, that's what
I wish we could get Corey on the pod. I've been trying.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
never say it. Too
yeah.
shy.
Yeah, oh yeah. This will be a really interesting one. And
Huh.
because there's limitless options at basically all positions.
Steelers, Patriots,
Older,
Eagles.
Older.
Green Bay.
Founding team, yes, Green Bay Packers. Founding teams of the NFL. So you're up first, Hayden, and you get to pick from the Green Bay Packers. We
Yeah.
literally could all select a quarterback.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
two, I guess two.
Uh,
Two
yeah.
of us could.
But-
You don't really say Jordan Love.
it's too soon. But like,
Yeah.
compared to some of the picks we've had to do, like
Yeah.
when Naples was doing a long snapper, I was just like doing random practice squad linemen. All right, so quarterbacks, the 2 big ones, obviously Brett Favre.
You still have quarterback available. None
I
of us have selected quarterback yet.
Huh?
Actually, we could actually
Cool.
take 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do feel like
I would
Cooper's taking
feel-
a quarterback. He's
I-
taking Rodgers.
I-
Between
No.
2 of them.
I mean, I'm gonna walk through.
There's only 2, my guy. I mean, I guess you could go with like Deshaun Kaiser.
Unless
'cause he
I
played-
pick
I-
somebody
no,
other
I
than a
have, I have
quarterback.
2 people in my mind. One quarterback, one
Oh,
not
I see,
quarterback.
okay. I thought you were saying you had 2 quarterbacks. Yeah, that's all that have played for them in the last 30 years.
Running
so.
backs, there's a lot of okay guys. Aaron Jones,
Eddie Lacy.
Ooh,
Eddie
not,
Lacy.
not Corey Dillon. Who was the other one? Ahmad Green.
Amon Green, the
Ahman
leading
Green.
rusher.
Mhm.
Wide receivers, Devontae. Would Devontae be the top wide receiver, you guys think, over a Jordy, over a Driver?
I think so.
Sterling Sharp didn't
Sharp?
play in the 2000s. He was,
Really?
He was
Not
at-
at all.
Sterling Sharp retired like 95 too early. That's why he didn't get in the Hall until this
Yeah.
year. My laptop
mean-
just might have died.
I thought you plugged in.
It is. I don't.
Oh,
I
that's
wonder
weird.
if it's just getting old.
Yeah.
But I don't have money, so we're not gonna buy it. So we're gonna just keep on going. I don't know. Tight end, Jimmy Graham, Mercedes Lewis.
Jermaine Gresham was decent.
He wasn't on the Packers.
Jermaine Gresham? You sure about that?
Pretty sure. Bengals and Cardinals.
Defense, you have Clay Matthews.
Yeah, Matthews,
Jairo,
Ju-
Gender.
Julius Peppers.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of buying time. Mason Crosby. I'm gonna go Rodgers though. I'm gonna leave Favre for Cooper.
Who was their tight end then? Because you're right, it wasn't Jermaine Gresham. They had a guy, Jermichael Finley.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Is the J threw me off. So who'd you go with? I'm sorry,
I went with Rodgers.
Rogers.
I'm going Devontae.
For real? Over Favre?
Mm-hmm. There'll be another quarterback.
Better than Favre?
We have
Josie picked Favre.
Here's the thing. I'm not a
Come
big
on.
Favre guy.
Yeah, but
I
crappy human, but you know, like dude could sling it.
dude, I'm probably not gonna do this, but I'm tempted to take Mason Crosby, dude. Mason Crosby.
You guys
is
are
so
ridiculous.
good.
You're saying Brett Favre is not going to go in the top 3 here?
is he a top 10 quarterback all time?
Yes.
Brett Favre?
Yes.
Ah,
Without question. Do you think Big Ben is?
top 10 quarterback?
Yeah.
Yes.
Favre's
All time.
better than Big Ben.
I just don't like Brett Favre's turnovers. It's so many, dude. It was like it was almost 50-50 in his career. Touchdown interception ratio.
I don't
Like,
like
it was
I don't
bad.
like Favre here.
Yeah,
like-
but the good was...
I know. I also don't like the character issues. If we're drafting this for a team, my guys so far. Okay, Jalen Ramsey had some character issues. Just kidding. He definitely did.
Listen, you can get some Super Bowl pedigree. You
I
have
kinda-
Ramsey, Favre, and then who's your other pick right now?
CJ Tucan and Antonio Gates.
Yeah, they never really sniffed the Super Bowl. But yeah, Rodgers and
Jalen
her
did.
Favre.
Jalen did he?
Yeah, Jalen did.
Oh,
But
I
I'm saying
see.
the other two.
Yeah, Antonio. Well, the Chargers.
Dude,
suck,
my
so
laptop just...
didn't go kaput forever.
It's crazy.
I'm gonna go Jordan Love over Brett Favre. Where's Naples
Yeah,
when you need him?
Naples
Where's
would-
Naples when you need him? So you went Devontae, correct?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
do
be
think-
honest. I probably like Mason Crosby over.
You
Brett
guys are
Favre.
ridiculous. Cooper, you don't realize how good Favre was.
I do think I have to go Brett Favre. I'm not crazy about it because, like I said, I do think that there's probably one that fit the play style that I prefer more. Like, what we're gonna roll the Patriots. Like, it's gonna happen, and somebody's gonna get Tom Brady. So I hate that, like,
You know what's
Whatever,
crazy? We're still recording after all that.
after all that,
Yeah.
anybody? No. Some cat, Carl Anthony Towns. After all that,
So you see, the thing is, because I knew you were gonna take Favre there.
did you?
I knew. So now every team.
You
So
get the
say
quarterback.
yes, I get the
Mhm.
quarterback,
Yep.
guaranteed.
Yeah, that
It's all about the strategy. Here.
that would have been a great strategy if you didn't leave Brett Favre on that, because
But I'm gonna get Brady or Mahomes now.
Brady, Mahomes, or Peyton. I feel like those might be the only three that are better.
I'm gonna get one.
Argument for Allen.
All right, ready? Next one. Your first pick. I'll be interested to see where you go with this. Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
I already know who I'm going because I know you're not going to pick them.
I really wish he would have played a regular season game so I could get Terrell Owens and Randy Moss. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Richard Sherman.
That's a good pick. That's not even who I thought of. So
Josie, you're the only one with your defensive player left, right?
no, I took Jalen Ramsey.
So we're done with defense.
Done with defense. This is not who I originally wanted at running back, but I can't pass on Charlie Alexander. So that's who I'm taking. I thought about beast mode, but 28-7 rushing touchdowns in a season. Did he win an MVP?
He did
in
win MVP.
2008. Right?
No, 2005, the year the Steelers beat him.
Yeah. It's just hard to. That's originally I was waiting for the Vikings so I could take Adrian Peterson, but I'm just going with Sean Alexander and not even thinking twice. I just outside of that, I have two wide receivers and a kicker left, and it's like I couldn't think of somebody like Sidney Rice, Doug Baldwin. Like I'm not taking those guys over Sean Alexander. So
Yeah.
DK maybe no. Like I'm a Steelers fan, so being taken DK there is going to look bad regardless.
I should get
So,
DK so I can have DK and Rogers.
do it.
No, so I can either get cute with it and go Jason Myers at kicker, who has been really honest. Oh,
Steven Hauschka.
What about Seabass? Janikowski.
Ooh.
He did play there for a couple seasons, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, and he's a good kicker, but I think Janikowski's. I don't know. I feel like it's getting too cute with it. Like it's like having beast mode and Jamal Charles. Like it's gonna be pretty hard to get better than that. But
I mean, except for CJ 2K, Sean Alexander. Beast Mode, who's your other one?
Jamal.
It's close because they're basically you have like very similar players in both of those. CJ 2K is a little bit better than Jamal Charles in that aspect, and then Beast Mode and Sean Alexander.
You know what? We're gonna build a fun team. We're gonna go Sebastian Janikowski.
Mm.
I think
6-yard field goal attempt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin as the coach.
Mhm.
I do think Marshawn would have been the right pick there, but you know what? Oh well.
You know why I'm here.
I'm building a dangerous team here,
I'm
guys.
just here
Cooper, I'm
for
surprised
fun.
you didn't go Russell Wilson. You have a jersey and everything. Cooper, how many, are you getting a Steelers quarterback jersey every single year? You have Russell. You have Pickett.
Yeah.
Probably gonna get
No,
Rodgers.
I'm
or
not
you
getting
just-
Rodgers.
Oh, that's where you draw the
Yes,
line.
I'll probably get a DK one.
All right. So, since at this point I'm not caring about character issues, we land on the Philadelphia Eagles. I have both my wide receivers left. I think you guys know who I'm taking, and I'm not even thinking twice about it. So, I'm taking T.O. So, again, I'll deal with Jalen Ramsey versus T.O. in practice, and it's going to be absolute cinema, is what it's going to be. So, Hayden, you're up. Eagles.
So
We all took our defensive player, right?
correct.
Reggie White would have been a good pick.
He didn't play in the 2000s.
You're right.
One running back, one wide receiver, one tight end. Tight end, I do love me some Zach Ertz. Which honestly, that might be
Saquon?
a smart pick.
Saquon? I mean, you just come. I know it's recency bias, but like Saquon.
Because I was saying,
well,
I was thinking Shady, just because
J.J.
Shady and Jamal Charles, like they were like the PPR guys. Like it was those two and Adrian Peterson. Like, yeah. Wide receiver AJ Brown or Djax.
Jeremy Maclin. I know he's not in the same category, but
I'm gonna go Saquon
Solid.
just because you and I just like kind of built a running back competition. I think Saquon gives me the edge, so I'm gonna go
over Alexander.
You guys are not beating my running backs.
Who are your running
Oh,
backs?
he does have two really good
Derrick
running backs.
Henry and LT.
He does have.
Yeah,
he has
you-
the edge. He has the edge.
Yeah.
So, all right, Hayden. We have 2 picks left.
I took Zach Ertz.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm sorry.
Go.
I saw him writing
No,
that.
I
That's
think-
why I moved it on.
I think that's a good pick. Why
Who
do you
was
say
it?
He got so freaking lucky.
Who
dude.
was it?
It's the Bucks. Cooper got so freaking lucky, dude.
You
I was
did.
starting to think we weren't gonna get a team
Yeah.
that you played for. I
Cooper,
do
you're
think- I
going
do think
famous Jameis.
Cooper
right?
just won. I do think with his running backs and his I think he
We'll
just
see.
won. But
We'll
we'll
see.
see.
Is it
Watch him take like.
Is it my turn?
Yes, you're up first.
Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Did you go? You
Tom
just pick
Brady.
it. Yeah, Tom
Tom
Brady.
Brady.
Okay. Wide receiver. I'm kind of debating between 2 guys.
I
The answer is-
forgot all about one of them because I was so
Yeah.
excited about Gronk. I
The
still
answer
would
is
have
Mike
gone
Evans, but I like Vincent Jackson here as a potential like. Well, let me see.
Think about it.
The Bucks, a wide receiver. Oh, I mean AB.
Yeah.
I have all these character issues. Why not? bring in AB,
Horrible
dude?
characters.
You're taking.
team.
Yeah, I'm taking AB's peak over all
Yeah.
those guys.
Because at first I was like, oh crap, I should have gone
Mhm.
AB over Gronk, but I mean,
Yeah. I mean that's.
I mean,
valid.
chances are like it's going to be way easier for me to get a wide receiver over
Yeah.
like Gronk could be the goat tight
Yeah.
end. So.
What are our last picks? What do you have?
Receiver.
Receiver.
Kicker.
Wait.
Who has picked first, me or Cooper?
It's Cooper. Cooper's up. You just picked on the last one.
Yeah, you're right. It's
Um,
okay. Cooper's not gonna even know somebody.
Jeez, this is gonna be tough. LA Chargers. Oh, we said we weren't doing 2 times in a row. I was gonna say LA Chargers. I'm trying to think of a kicker right now.
Josh Lambo,
Yeah, exactly.
Nick Novak.
Yeah. Miami Dolphins. Josh Lambo. Josh Lambo kicked for the Dolphins, didn't he? I think he did.
Who was their kicker? I forget his name. I don't think it was Lambo, but I forget. Cooper, what wide receiver are you going?
I don't know what I can really think about right now is Tyreek.
Josh Lambo was a Steelers.
I'll be honest with you. At the top of my head, there's 2 options that stand out, but I do think Tyreek's better than the other guy I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because I can't think of another person.
The other guy I'm thinking of is no slouch, but
Mhm.
I think Tyreek's better. By
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna
decent
go
shot.
Tyreek. I can't think of another person.
Last quit. So I just thought of another one. We could go Wes Welker, but I'm gonna go Brandon Marshall.
I don't know Matt Bryant.
Matt Bryant.
Matt Bryant.
He
You-
played for the Dolphins.
2004. I just looked it up to make sure.
Oh, we weren't looking that up.
Well, I looked up to make sure he played for the Dolphins. Kind of like I just did with Josh Lamb to make sure he didn't.
Yeah. Matt Bryant, what a good kicker.
Yeah. he
All
was
right,
a
let's
good kicker.
compare.
All right, do we want to go position by position?
Um,
I think position by position.
Let's go quarterback and receivers because you look at who's throwing to who.
All right. Well,
So
do you
you
want to
look
throw
at-
in tight end then?
That's sorry. I was
Okay,
including
yeah.
tight end
Oh,
in that wide
receiver.
receiver.
No,
Yes.
gotcha.
So you throw in your 2 wide receivers, your tight end, and your quarterback. So you look at who he's throwing to. You look at your running backs, and then you look at defense, and then you look at kicker.
All right, you
So-
want to start?
Sure, and we'll go with who wins each one. We'll vote on who wins each one. Brett Favre throwing a T.O., A.B., and Antonio Gates.
That's really good.
It is very good. I don't think it necessarily wins, but I think it's a really good, like, you look at what Brett Favre is, he wants to throw the ball 100 times a game, and he has 2
You
great...
really just turned around on Brett Favre here in the last
Well, no,
15
listen, I'm not crazy about it, but at the same time, it's like he wants to throw. He's a gunslinger.
No, I agree.
He wants
I
to
love
throw the ball 100 times a game. and
A,
you got
AB and who was your other one?
T.O.
T.O.
It's like you think about T.O.'s catch radius is insane, and A.B. is the best route runner maybe in the history of the NFL. Both of those guys are always open, and that's what Brett Favre wants. And then you look at Antonio Gates. You get down in the red zone. Guess who's scoring a touchdown 100 times out of 100? Antonio Gates. So
That's going to be hard to beat. Yeah, you have me beat. Cooper.
I got Tom Brady throwing to Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and Zach Ertz.
Tom Brady to Tyreek Hill would be insane. Like that would be nuts. But
I don't know. I think it's close, but I don't know.
I think Josie has the edge, which is a shame. Basically because of Zach Ertz, which I think is criminal because I think Zach Ertz is so
Zach Ertz is
underrated
nuts,
for what he's done in his career. But
because that was your pick from the Eagles,
Mhm.
do you think? I mean, Zach Ertz is better than Dallas Goedert. When you're looking at it from a receiving standpoint, do you think Dallas Goedert maybe gives a better edge to that if you would have taken him instead?
I don't
No?
think so.
No?
I think Goddard's solid.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if Goddard's ever been top 8. I think Ertz had like a 4-year stretch where
Yeah.
he was.
I think, and maybe I include myself in this. I think people forgot how good Zach Ertz was when he was an Eagle.
And he's still.
He
Like-
still is very
like-
good, and he's playing for at least another season now. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm biased in this, but I think I win. That.
I'm definitely in last place with these position groups, which is crazy because we were talking about him at the beginning. Aaron Rodgers, maybe the most talented thrower of the ball. Randy Moss, second or third best wide receiver all time. Rob Gronkowski,
Dude,
the GOAT tight end of all time. What really sets me out, and similar to what I just said about Cooper and Zach Ertz, because it's silly to say this out loud, Brandon Marshall really just like hinders me, Brandon Marshall's never been a wide receiver 2 in his career. He's
Yeah.
been a wide receiver 1 and
even
a
when
really
he was
good
in
one.
Seattle, right? Maybe he wasn't wide receiver
I
one in
think
Seattle.
I mean at that point he was like a wide receiver 4,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Same thing with the Giants. But like
Oh yeah,
he was dominant with the Broncos, Bears, and Jets.
has the NFL record for most receptions a game, 21.
23, I thought.
Is it 23? I thought that was the touchdown record.
I think you're right. I
23
think it
is
was
the
21.
yearly touchdown record. 21, I think,
Yeah.
is the single game receptions record, which is insane. Like 21 in one game is nuts.
Which makes me. Who was the last team? The Dolphins.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better tight end than. Well, because I was trying to think. I was like, what if I would have done Julio or AB instead of, or even Evans? And who do you guys put better, Marshall or Evans?
Ooh,
Probably Evans.
I think
Evans.
Evans has the more consistency
Mhm.
and the Super Bowl, so legacy wise.
Brandon Marshall was really
But I
good.
think Marshall had the better peak.
Yeah.
But Evans' consistency is
Yeah.
just unheard of.
Because like Alshon Jeffrey was a legit number 1 who played number 2 because of how good Brandon Marshall
And that
was.
Eric Decker, that
Yeah,
1 year in New
yeah.
York.
Yeah.
In Miami, not to the same level of those guys, but Brian Hartline was a 1,000 yard receiver.
Yeah, he
So,
was good.
all right, do you running back?
I had CJ 2K and Sean Alexander. So, two
King
Probably.
Henry and LT.
I had Saquon and Jamal. which I feel like that might boost me up passing wise a little bit, but not a lot, just because I mean your guys' teams are nuts. But
Yeah. I mean, I do think that it's still. I'm leaning Cooper's team. I love CJ2K's receiving ability and the fact that he can break any run. Doesn't matter where it is. Like, he can break it to the house. Sean Alexander obviously has 28 touchdowns in a season. He's a workhorse back. He can take 400 touches in a season and be completely fine. Really high peaks, but I mean, looking at like LT and Henry, like those are the peaks of basically all peaks. Like 31 touchdowns in a season for LT and King Henry rushing twice now, almost 3 times for over 2,000 yards. It's just like, to me, that sets them above.
you guys
what I
see if
have,
he
so.
does it this year, he's like getting in a Sandler movie.
Oh, really?
He loves
That's
Adam
what Adam
Sandler, I
Sandler
guess,
said.
and in an interview with Dan Patrick, because Dan Patrick's in some Sandler movies. And
Yeah.
Adam Sandler FaceTimed him and said, "Hey, 2,000 yards, and I'll give you like a signed thing, and we'll put you in a movie." So
That's sick.
I feel like now it kind of has to happen, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like,
Does
but
anybody know when Derrick Henry's birthday is?
Is it the same day as yours?
January 4th.
Nice.
Yes.
Is that the same day as
I thought you were gonna say January
Happy birthday.
6th,
Oh, yikes.
Oh, no.
just like AJ Hawk's birthday.
April-
What were you
April
thinking?
20th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Good
Le'Veon Bell and LeGarrette Blunt's birthday.
I still
January
remember
20th,
when that
April
came out.
20th.
That was wild. It was like on the way to a preseason. Oh, those were the
They were
times.
called
Back when the
hotboxing,
Steelers
right?
had an
They were-
offense.
They were hotboxing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were.
LeGarrette Blunt's car.
They were supposed to be on a plane to Philadelphia. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we got 1-1 so far for winning Super Bowl defensive player. This is gonna be a tough one to judge, I do think, but I don't know because I think we probably all
have
took.
you.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Who do you have?
Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman,
Ooh.
and then Junior.
You're thinking Sherman over Ramsey? That's tough. I think they're pretty close, but I think Ramsey.
I think they're close, but I think Sayao blows them out of the water.
I mean, he's the only Hall of Famer on that list. The guy currently in the Hall of Fame. So
yeah.
yeah.
And I think the other two get there, but I don't
Yeah.
like.
Of course, this is
It's like-
coming down to kicker, and I pick a scrum. I mean, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
horrible.
I mean, do you dispute that Sayao? Over...
No. I think that the case that I was gonna make over Sherman is that like Sherman could. The knock on Sherman was always that he was a little bit slower and that he could only play zone coverage, whereas Jalen Ramsey was a lockdown man-to-man corner, where like he would shadow your best receiver and just absolutely take him out of the game, similar to what Reeves did. With
Doesn't
the
it feel
Jets.
like they both should have Defensive Player of the Year awards and they just don't?
I mean, yeah. Sorry, but if Stephon Gilmore has one, both of those guys should. Like, I know I hate on Stephon Gilmore just because
A
of
lot.
the fact that like
It's TJ's.
TJ, yeah, but like thinking about the fact that Stephon Gilmore has the Defensive Player of the Year, but Jalen Ramsey, Darrell Revis, I don't think had one, right?
No, the
No,
Revis
Darrell
Island year.
Revis
Yeah.
didn't? Like-
I think Ed Reed or Troy won it the year Ed Reed.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
the year Revis had the Revis Island year.
But thinking about all the great cornerbacks of all time that didn't have a Defensive Player of the Year, and Stephon Gilmore is a really good.
Well, I'm
corner.
sorry, but
Dude.
and he's the best corner in the league. But Patrick Surtain, like, I'm taking both of their
Oh,
best
yeah.
seasons
Oh.
over Surtain's best.
As of right
Now,
now, yeah.
Surtain, I
Surtain's
think-
ceiling is
I think
still-
Surtain's going to be a better player consistently just because of how he's built,
Yeah.
especially better than
He's
Sherman.
built like Ramsey.
Yeah,
6'2", broad shouldered, not skinny like Sauce Gardner.
but like
and
Sherman, like
Stan
2011,
Staley.
2012, like.
Yeah, he was nuts. But yeah, I would say that we all have one right now, so it comes down to kicker. It'll be interesting.
I have Seabass.
I have Scobie.
I have Matt Bryant. I think it's. I mean, I obviously think it's between these two.
Am I like crazy to say it's like a three-way tie?
Dude,
I think
I think yours is the most consistent. Josh Scobie, I promise you, is a good kicker.
He
And then
was great.
Seabass has like one of the strongest legs of all time and is just like one of the best NFL personalities. Like,
Sebastian Jankowski was a second round pick. Is that right?
he's 18th overall.
I think he's out of it.
Matt
Get out of here.
Matt Bryant was undrafted in 1999.
Out of Baylor, right?
Yes, Baylor.
I appreciate you just trusting me and agreeing with me before you even saw it.
Yeah, I was looking. He had one Pro Bowl, NFL scoring leader in 2016, George Halas Award.
That was the
all
Kyle
rookie team.
Shanahan year.
Field goals made. Oh, he had an 85.6% field goal percentage. I feel like that's higher.
Seabass is at like 80, I think.
Yeah, I was to say. I think so. He wins it. Longest field goal, 62 yards.
I was
for
gonna
Matt
say
Bryant.
he
That's
didn't have
good.
a slouch of a leg.
He made almost 400 field goals in his career and only attempted 464.
Listen, I'll give it to you because, like I said, when I
What
picked
was his field goal percentage?
85.6.
How about extra point percentage?
Oh,
get out of
no
here,
idea.
Cooper.
I could click on Pro Bowl reference and probably fine.
Yeah, when I picked Janikowski, I even said it that I thought he was a tad overrated. So I'll give it to Josie. I do think that it's hilarious that that's what.
That's what it came down to. His extra point percentage, you said, in his career?
Yeah.
98.6.
Darn it.
Yeah, dude. Matt Bryant was so underratedly good. Matt Bryant was an absolute dog.
They had him and Matt Bosher because Matt Bosher had some
That was
big
a punter.
Pat McAfee hits. Yeah.
Damn. The only other name I remember from the Falcons around that time, obviously the big names, but like Michael Turner, the bowling ball is what they call him. At least on Madden, that's what they called him. So Michael Turner was good running
It
back.
was so good.
Yeah. Want to give a preview of what the next couple weeks will entail?
Yeah, so up to something season. Every year, which when I was a kid, I was fascinated by this. And then I realized it just like made no sense whatsoever. The NFL media would release their top 100 players voted on by the players. And it was awful. Which I think just once again shows like everything is so subjective. Like, don't get me wrong, media and experts get it wrong all the time, but the players list I think is 100% worse than what the media would have been able to come up with.
Who's that DN from the Packers? Mike
Daniels.
Mike Daniels.
Mike Daniels was always
It was
on
the Mike
it.
Daniels show. That's
Yeah.
all it was, dude. It turned.
They had
into that
some
for, like,
random
5
guy,
years.
Charlie James. Do you remember that name?
I do.
He was like a 2-year special teamer for the Texans, but he was on every year. I was like, they couldn't get anybody
loved
more relevant.
Mike Daniels' personality, I feel like it just
Yeah.
turned into his show.
And like, and it is a very hard list to make. As not Cooper, because Cooper hasn't shown up in 2 months, but me, Josie, Naples, and Eli. No, it's hard because like position value. Also, what is the criteria? Like, are you grading off of last season? Are you grading entering this year? How much does current value play into it? And then how much does what you've done for me in the past? It was hard. And we did it in a pretty hard way where we were just doing a consensus. Like, so there are a lot of things that a lot of us disagree on, but that was kind of the purpose. It wasn't one person's list. It was a group of 4. Josie, me, and Naples worked on around the top 55, and then me and Eli did the last 45 just for total transparency. Another thing that also kind of bothered me when NFL media did theirs, they would like do it ahead of like, so after this year when it comes out, it will be the top 100 players of 2025.
Yeah.
But a guy who was hurt and missed a majority of the year would make the list, but he'd be like in the 50s.
Yeah.
So like J.J. Watt, when he was like winning Defensive Player of the Year and then missing a whole year, he would be in like the 50s. And he'd be like, well, this is stupid. I shouldn't even be on the list. I didn't play.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like, all right, if it's for next season, then shit. I'm kind of getting on my soapbox and getting a little off track.
no, that's
But
valid.
bottom line, the list sucks. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to think our list sucks as well. But without further ado, which Cooper, have you even looked at the list? I'm not even
Nope.
clowning it. So this is Cooper's live reaction to it. The one thing that I'm most proud of on this list, and then Josie, if you have something that you're really proud of on the list too, I love the effort that we put into bringing attention to the trenches. So many offensive linemen made this list, and I think that's amazing. But with that said, we're going to start off with 2 offensive linemen. The 100th player, or the 100th best player in the NFL, is left tackle for the New York Football Giants, Andrew Thomas.
Yeah, I like it.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's you look at the previous year and like he was looked at as like a potential breakout star, like a really good one. Like I don't think he had the year everybody expected from him. I don't think the Giants had the year everybody expected. But like I think if they can figure out the quarterback position, like they already have some weapons, they have a young defense. Like I think that he can take a jump in the next like 2-3 seasons.
And they
to
finally
be
have a
the top
center in
guy.
John Michael Schmitz. I mean, for
Yep.
so long, he's been the only guy, which when you draft back-to-back linemen in the top 10, you should be set,
Yeah.
especially when they're tackles.
Evan
But
Neal's
Evan Neal's
bad.
just,
Dude,
yeah.
he's just bad.
Which I don't, you would think that there would be something there. Like, move him in the
Yeah.
guard and there'd be some, but whatever. I mean, that's what happened with Eric Flowers, and he
Yeah.
turned into at least a
So that's
solid
the
starter.
Becton,
Yeah. I mean,
so
number 99. This is a player that Josie
I
brought
like
up,
the player a lot.
like, a lot. And
It was mostly asking where people felt about
no,
him.
no.
Yeah.
But and it's a player that I always thought was good,
Mhm.
but Josie's information really backed it up, and I feel like it feels weird saying that I like agree. Like Josie's right, this guy's really good, and I'm putting him at 99. But that once again just shows like what this list was.
And his team sucks. So
Yeah.
It doesn't help.
Number 99, Colton Miller, another left tackle, one of the few bright spots on that Raiders roster.
Yeah.
Number 98, a guy who was it? Do you have the list pulled up?
Yeah, I forgot this. This is gonna be the one that like people are just like
I know, but
shouting
like,
from the rooftops
yeah.
about.
this guy has caused more arguments on the show than I think anyone. And just like always, the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. Jalen Hurts is the 98th best player in the NFL. And if you ask me, I think there's a chance if we look at his total body of work and not just last season, he shouldn't even be on the list. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think he's a fringe top 10 quarterback, though, and I think that he's had some clutch moments. A member of the podcast, which I don't think the rest of the podcast is as anti him as I am, but this one member, my boy Naples, he started bringing him up in like the top 25. Josie, I think that you're in the middle, but lean a little bit my way, and then Eli is pretty much my way. Eli's anti-quarterback though, regardless. So
I don't think he's top 50. There's a lot of really good players in the NFL. I think that we talked about this on the pod. It's like if you put, or we talked about this when we were doing this list. Sorry, if you put Brock Purdy on the Eagles this year, they still win the Super Bowl. And Brock Purdy, I don't think made the list, did he?
nowhere close.
No, not even close. Like that's where I'm at. Is like,
And how many quarterbacks can we get through?
Yeah. And I like
that
Jalen Hurts.
would-
I like Jalen Hurts a lot. But like, in my opinion, like if I were to blindly rank him right now, be like, oh, top 100 players, where's Jalen Hurts? 50 to 65, 50 to 70, somewhere in there.
And
Maybe
similar
70s.
to what I said at the
Yeah.
beginning with Will Howard,
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts was the biggest question mark on the Eagles. Him and Nick Sirianni, and now the playoffs, he was pretty good. He did what they wanted to in the playoffs, and then the Super Bowl, he was lights out.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, like, because of that we have a short memory and we just forget that he wasn't really that good during the regular season. He was awesome running the ball, but that like Justin Fields. Justin Fields is great at the tush push. I'm not saying they win the Super Bowl. How far did the Eagles get?
I'm not a Justin Fields guy. I think Jalen Hurts is much better than
I
Justin
agree,
Fields.
but how
Yeah.
far did the Eagles get? I think that's how good the Eagles roster.
Yeah, I mean,
They get at
That's
least
a
to the
tough
divisional round. I don't know if they get
they
past
make
the
the
Rams.
playoffs. They make,
but-
yeah.
And then another thing that we talked about a lot was Matthew Stafford, who will be on this list later on. Matthew Stafford and Jaden Daniels, comparing those two. Matthew Stafford was miles and miles away the better quarterback in
They
their
almost beat him,
head-to-head
yeah.
divisional game.
They
So
almost beat him.
on the road in the snow when he plays for a Los Angeles indoor team. So Jalen Hurts, 98. Cooper, you're a little quiet. Do you have any thoughts on Jalen Hurts?
I said probably in the 70s.
70s?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
when I say 50 to 70, like I think the highest you could argue is 50. Realistically, he's probably somewhere in the late 60s, 70s, something like that.
All right, enough of the quarterback garbage. We're back to left tackles, baby. Deion Dawkins, number 97. Another left tackle, like I said. My favorite, Deion Dawkins has made me a fan because he is pretty much responsible for getting the offensive linemen their own AP award.
What's it called?
I was gonna say the Trenchies, but that was McAfee and Shipley's like whole little.
Yeah.
I forget what
I
it.
don't remember.
Is it name
Security, no,
No,
because
it's not.
that's what you and I were pushing
Yeah,
for. But something blindside,
Yeah,
security, something
yeah.
like along those lines. But he got them an AP award, which is long overdue. Josie kind of teased it there. I've been a proponent of getting an award for best position and then naming them after greats. For instance, the best quarterback award would be called the Manning Award.
Protector of the year.
Protector, yeah. Running back would be the Barry Sanders, the Jim Brown Award, whatever, Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, anything like that. Wide receiver, the Rice Award. Similar to what college does, I think that's what should happen. Deion Dawkins, great on the field, though. My favorite thing about him might be what happens off the field, but he was the only other Pro Bowl teammate of Josh Allen last year. Really has come into his own. So
I think he's been underrated for a while, and he's starting to get some of the recognition that he maybe deserves. So I think he's been. I mean, you go back 5 years, he's probably one of the only remaining linemen from probably when Josh got drafted. So because I don't think is McGovern even there right now?
yeah, because he made the Pro Bowl over Frazier
Yeah.
as like the alternate. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean he's been
Bull
there for
crap.
a long time.
I was more mad about that than
Is Zach Frazier on this list?
He is not. Which is another
He's 101.
so
Kyle Juszczyk, it should always be
only
101.
2 centers made the list, and I'm not gonna name drop them, but you can
Yeah.
figure out pretty easily. 3 of them would have made the list though.
Both AFC centers too.
Yeah. If Ragnow doesn't retire, because Frank Ragnow retired during this list, he would have made the list.
Yeah. Did you see the stat that came out right after he retired? That their win-loss percentage when he plays versus or the points scored or something like that.
It's like TJ
It's similar.
Watt-esque.
Yeah, it's similar
Yeah.
to what TJ with the Steelers without TJ. Him on the line is they're such a better team. So that's a huge loss.
Right.
People aren't talking about how big of a loss that is.
I'm worried
that's
about the
bigger
line.
than losing
Yeah.
Ben Johnson. Maybe losing Frank Ragnow is it's huge.
Do you remember a couple years ago when the Lions choked against the Niners in the NFC Championship game?
Yep.
Dan Campbell said, we might not get back here. And the NFL is not for long. Look at the Niners. The Niners were the Eagles of last year. They were the most dominant team in football. 2 Super Bowl appearances. Well, unlucky for them. They have to go against the guy that we just were talking about as the GOAT earlier in Mahomes. It sucks.
Yeah.
Any other? I love how we started. We were on Dawkins, right? We started talking about Ragnar.
We just did Dawkins. Yeah.
One final point on Ragnar. It reminds me so much of Travis Frederick. Another
yeah.
one, where
Well,
2
Ragnar's
potential...
what, 28?
29, I think.
29.
Yeah. But 2 potential Hall of Fame centers. Best in the league. Just
Yeah.
sucks. 96. Cooper, guess what position?
Left tackle.
No, right guard.
Oh.
Do you know who it is? For the Broncos. He just got paid before last season.
No.
His last name sounds like something you like. His name is Quinn Menierez. Sounds like Miners.
Oh.
Some people say his name is Miners.
that's
Some people say it.
that's
I've heard
where
people
my mind
pronounce it
went.
Miners
But
before.
I don't think I've ever even heard his name.
for those of
Really?
you that don't know,
Yeah.
Cooper dated somebody that was 3 years younger than him.
Oh, here we
And he's
go.
19.
Yeah. Is that well? I mean,
LOL.
would you rather us not clarify and just leave it at?
Oh no,
minor?
yeah, no, please clarify. Yeah.
I feel like we gave you
No,
did you a
I
favor
did-
there.
No, I
like
think you did. Yeah.
the cops might come if we don't clarify that.
Sure.
but,
Sure.
yeah, Quinn Menierez. This would actually be kind of a fun jersey. Josie and I love getting the fun jerseys. This dude just has a big beer belly, long, luscious hair.
He was the one who wore the crop top right
Yeah.
after he got drafted. Yeah.
Played at a D3 school, just a super old school lineman.
Wears a ponytail. long
awesome,
Brown
yeah.
hair.
Yeah. And Steeler fans, this guy played center in college. He's now a Pro Bowl All-Pro guard. The Steelers drafted a center that year ahead of Quinn Menierez.
You remember who it was, Cooper? He's obviously no longer in the team. He mostly played guard, I think, really. It was right after...
After the Steelers, you mean?
Yeah.
For us, he was only center.
Really, I
The
don't
Texans, because Ben Roethlisberger
Yes.
actually
No,
said
I know who it is.
He wore 53.
No, I know.
I know,
Yep,
which-
it's
Yeah,
Kendrick Green.
it is. Kendrick
Yeah.
Green. That's cool. Got it.
Because with all the talk we've had this offseason, as a country and fans about retiring numbers, that was one of the most disrespectful things.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
horrible.
They give a third round center the number of Marquise Pouncey.
That and then 83. I still don't like that.
That was like a
that Connor
decade
Hayward.
later. But
I know. I still don't like that Connor Hayward got 83. So.
I mean, what's worse though, him or Kobe Hamilton wearing it a
Gosh.
couple years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's fair.
I remember. I don't know if you know the story. Jesse James actually wanted to wear,
83.
or
Was
was it?
Was he 89?
He was 81. I
81.
was gonna say. Oh, it wasn't Jesse James. It was Zach Gentry. Because Jesse James
Yeah.
and Heath had a 1 year overlap, actually.
Zach Gentry was 87. Is that right? Am I remembering that wrong?
Isn't that Kevin Rader?
I don't remember
Talking
what
about
Gentry was.
obscure Pittsburgh tight ends
Yeah.
right now. I think. Shoot, what was Gentry? Was Gentry 83?
No,
Was he 81?
no,
Are you sure? I think
Oh,
it
Do
was
you
81.
know it, or you?
no. I don't.
I think
It might
I think
be-
Gentry was 81.
I have it. I
81?
just saw it. It's 81.
Is it
Yeah,
81?
it's 81.
So him and James must not have crossed paths. But
I
I,
thought
remember
they
hearing
did.
that story.
Which they're basically the same player, if we're being honest. Like
Jesse
hate.
James was better than
I agree.
Zach Gentry.
I agree. Which he also cut that ball.
Which, Josie, you and I talk about Steelers underutilizing tight ends. Jesse James, underutilized.
Yeah.
All right.
Pat Friday. Down to
we're,
Washington.
we're getting so off task. Cooper, guess what the next position is?
Left guard.
Yes, actually, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're building a lot. We're building an O-line
Yeah.
with these picks.
Tyler Smith, a guy, and I had to think about it for a second because this is a guy that was actually drafted as maybe the Tyron Smith replacement. But Tyler Smith for the Cowboys. The Cowboys, they drafted, what line? Tyler Booker this year, Tyler Guyton last year. They're trying to rebuild that offensive line.
Which Tyler Guyton's supposed to play right tackle, right?
I thought, isn't Terrence Steele on the right side?
You might be right. He's supposed to be a tackle, but he wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Tyler Guyton's not been very good so far.
Yeah, he was a little bit of a reach. But yeah, Tyler Smith, pretty good player. Tulsa, second rounder, I believe. Looking up the Cowboys depth chart, I actually don't have a ton to say about Tyler Smith, which
Yeah.
is fine because we talked about obscure Pittsburgh third string tight ends. So
Yeah.
the Cowboys ESPN depth chart, so not official, is saying. This has been
It's like when you search up the depth chart and it goes to ourlads.com. Like,
like
because the
I feel-
depth charts aren't out for the new season yet.
okay. So
Shout out ourlads.com, friend of the show.
low key, I feel like this Cowboys line is better than last year. I'm gonna say that right
Probably.
now. Even
Are you a Tyler Booker guy? You like him? I mean, I think he'd be
yeah. I mean, he's not Zach Martin, which is why I kind of
yeah.
like questioned myself as soon as I said it's better than last year.
Wasn't Tyler Booker drafted the tackle?
No, first round.
was
He was the lone
12th
guard in the
Yeah.
first.
Was he a guard?
12th overall. Yeah.
Yeah.
So left tackle Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe at center.
Which is, I mean, it's solid.
Solid. Yeah, there's potential
Solid.
there. I
Where
mean,
did he play last year?
I think center. It's,
No, sorry. He played for them last year. Did he come in?
Kansas State like mid round pick. He
But
was
he
kind
was
of
drafted by the Cowboys.
correct.
But they had who am I blanking on?
They had Tyler Baez a couple years ago. Yeah.
And he's with the Commanders.
Commies, yes, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which nice segue to the next player.
Then Booker and then Steele. That's not awful. I don't mind what the Cowboys are doing. They should have kept Mike McCarthy, but all right. Next, Cooper. Did you see what position? It's not a lineman.
Well,
Wait.
Oh,
It's
yes.
a linebacker. Look at us. Yeah, Bobby Wagner.
ball linebacker.
And this is something like Josie and I hate the middle linebackers that are out there right now just because they're just not nearly as good
They're going through a slump in middle
compared to
linebacker
the
right now.
2010s and then the 2000s and then even the 1990s. It's just not
You can
good.
name 3 elite guys right now.
Can you?
I mean, you're talking about Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Obviously, is number 1.
Yeah,
I think Roquan Smith's still elite this coming
I
season.
agree. Who's your
Yeah.
third? Because I think
Zach
I think it's-
Bond
might
again,
stop
maybe.
there.
after it, which I agree, and
Zach Bond
like Zach Bond last year, I think was the best linebacker in the game. But
over Fred Warner.
last year, I do.
Damn.
Last year he was up for Defensive Player of the Year. He would have been the first Defensive Player of the Year since Kuechly in 2013.
But just what happened with Devin White is still just it's more
Yeah.
proof of what like the NFL does not value a middle linebacker just like they don't value a running back. They're the thumpers that have to take hits to the head.
And Ryan Shazier would have been next up.
Dude.
But yeah, Bobby Wagner, he's a little bit of a liability in coverage now, which is why he's so low. Which him still being at 94 is honestly quite the accomplishment. He's still a very good player.
What is he?
33, 34.
He's
Somewhere
nearing the
between
end-
32 and 34. I
He's,
think.
he's nearing the expiration of middle linebacker life. Like very close.
But
if
what's
not
kind of
above it.
fun about him, he's one of those guys that will play as long as possible.
100%.
He'll play until
And he'll be in the Hall of Fame when he retires.
yeah, he wants to be a general manager one day, similar to Von Miller.
Nice, yeah.
Which, by the way, some teams should sign Von Miller. He's washed. He's not that washed.
Like Louis Riddick. Louis Riddick still wants to be a GM.
No.
So.
But yeah, so Bobby Wagner, which Josie, you know, I'm a slut for guys playing into their 40s. Like, it's my favorite thing.
And I love Bobby Wagner. I've been a big Bobby Wagner. I think he was the real juice behind the Legion of Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Like that defense was like he was I think he was green dot guy. Like he was the most underrated part of, and in my opinion, the leader of that Legion of Boom.
What
defense.
makes that defense and like that scheme overall so impressive is it's not overly complex.
Mhm.
You had Gus Bradley as the first guy, and then Dan Quinn as the
Brandon
second
Brown
guy.
looking like a dog. Like
Yeah, but it's just very simple. And Robert Saleh also comes from that same lineage. A couple of former Robert Saleh guys are in Denver now with Vance Joseph, who does have all kinds of exotics, and Talanoa, Hufanga, and Dre Greenlaw. And he's like, these guys, their football IQ is not like what you'd expect out of an elite player,
Yeah.
because that's how good these defenses are. It's simple. It's cover 3.
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
we're just gonna drop 3 back and we're gonna get to you with 4. But it works because they're just dogs. But so interesting. Bobby Wagner, him and Frankie Louisville, two just great linebackers.
Yeah.
Number 93 is a guy who,
Probably could have been a little bit higher.
yeah, it's just hard because of the edge rusher. It's kind of
It's like a 1 year. Like there's always 1 year wonders. Like you don't want this guy to be a 1 year wonder, but there's a chance that he's a 1 year wonder.
and it's a similar conversation that we're having with the Trey Hendrickson conversation. Nick Bonito. And this was another guy where nobody was really grabbing Defensive Player of the Year, which is how a cornerback won it in Patrick Surtain. It was TJ, it was Miles, it was Micah.
Was it ever Miles?
No.
I had to throw it. I had to say it.
I
so.
respect it. And because of that, Nick Bonito kind of just found himself in the race. He was
He had a good season. Like don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
like,
great
really
season.
good season.
he was among the leaders in sacks. He had like a game-changing pick 6. I forget who it was against, but it was a late season pick 6 where like it was a TJ Watt-esque where like he just jumped up on his pass rush and ran it in.
Yeah.
Nick Bonito, it's going to be interesting to see if he can take that next step. Devin McCourty actually ranked his top 5 defenses today on Pro Football Talk, and he had Denver as number 1.
Did he really?
Which,
Wow.
A little bit of a hot take. It's a great defense, but
Yeah. I do think it. On the Nick Bonito Defensive Player of the Year train, like I do think that it would have been one of those ones that we look back in the future, like not and not say who in a disrespectful way, but it's like you think about Malcolm Smith winning Super Bowl MVP. You think back to it, you're like, who? Right? It's like I do think that if Nick Bonito would have potentially won it this year, like I don't think he was ever really in the running, if that makes sense, because like
it was just looking at the numbers and like crap. Like,
yeah, it's like those awards are always going to go to the guys that are the best at that position, not the guys who have the best year at that position. And so yeah, I just think that
which
he never had a
once
fighting
again,
chance.
stats aren't everything, but also you do have to look at stats. Going back to like the TJ Watt versus Miles conversation, I'm looking up Nick Bonito, and Cooper's getting tired, so we'll wrap it up here. We'll
That's his bedtime.
91 will be our last one. Nick Bonito is entering his 4th year, and he was a 2nd-round pick, so it's a contract year. We're not hearing a lot about a contract.
I mean, he's not holding out. Like he had one season. Like
Should-
definitely
but
not.
I think he should be. After a season, he had 13 and a half sacks last year. The year before, he had 8. Same thing with Trevon Walker. I think both of these guys, Aiden Hutchinson, who are you taking right now? Or like, who would you feel more comfortable giving guaranteed money to? Him or Trey Hendrickson? And I love Trey Hendrickson.
I'm giving it a try.
Nick
I
Bonito's
personally am.
25.
Yeah, but he's only had one season. Like
2.
Trey Hendrickson,
2. 8?
It's decent, but like you look for a guy who's gonna
Hendrickson was
consistently give you 10.
nothing his first 3 years.
Yeah, but then he had a really good end of his career with the Saints, and then he had a really good entire tenure. With
Who do you
the
think's
Bengals.
better against the run?
I think the only thing Trey Hendrickson was asked to do with the Bengals, because their dysfunctional organization, was rush the passer.
Right.
I think he can play run defense. I just think they asked him and told him not to. Basically,
No, and listen, that I'm kind of playing devil's advocate because I'm about to respond to a comment with a video after this and get in an argument with a Bengals fan about Trey Hendrickson. I think Trey's an awesome player, but when you look at what the edge market is, like
Oh, he's not getting 40.
no. But
Yeah.
I think Benito could touch 30, maybe 33. When you look at what the market is, like
I don't know. It'd be tough to justify that. You're probably right. Somebody probably would. Like, if you look at, like, the Commanders right now, if they're desperate to get somebody, like, why not try to get Benito and pay him a lot? Like,
he
I
turns
just think it's kind of a
26 on
desperate
September 26.
I just think it's kind of a desperate look after, like, one really good season. So, I don't know.
But all right, well let's say he continues to ascend.
If he has another good season, then yeah.
Let's say he has another. He goes from 13.5 to 18, which is a similar jump.
I mean, he would lead the league in sacks this year if he had 18. I don't think anybody.
And then all of a sudden he's at 40.
Yeah, I mean
That's what I guess. Do you try and play the game of the Cowboys where you're betting against players, or do you try and get out ahead of contracts like the Eagles and be like, hey, we see you, you're a good player, you're an ascending player. Let's get you done now when you're $7 million less than what you're going to be next year.
I think it depends on, in that situation, if I'm the GM for the Broncos, like yeah, you can make the conversation of like, okay, what's happening with Michael Parsons, what happened with CD, what happened with Dak. It's like, but on the same note, it's like those guys, they knew they were going to extend.
Mm-hmm.
In my personal opinion, like if I'm the GM of the Broncos, I don't know right now if I'm going to extend Benito. Because
Really?
like I could potentially get a first round pick or a second round pick that would, like, not from him, but like if he goes off and gets signed somewhere, I potentially get a third round compensatory
There
pick.
you go.
Words. I could
Hang in
potentially
there,
get that
Cooper.
if he signed a
Hang in
big
there.
one. But at the same time, like I could go out and spend a first or second round pick to potentially replace that production that he only gave for 1 year. So
I'm interested.
tough.
I think I'm gonna make a video on that too,
Yeah.
because I didn't think of it, but yeah, and because Trevon Walker and Aiden Hutchinson, I've had in the back of my mind like, hey, they need deals too. But Nick Benito, like, and we're seeing right now, like, the longer you wait, and I don't know if he gets up to like that 33. I would assume he gets at least 29, 30. I don't know what probably not guarantees past the first couple of years,
Yeah.
but so 92.
Imagine getting 33 after one season and he gets like exactly the same that DK got on his contract extension. I get it, I get positional market value, but like that's nuts. Like, and again, I'm not saying like DK is like the top of the wide receiver market, but like where he got paid was at the top of the wide receiver
He's
market.
close.
Yeah, he's pretty close.
I think it's technically 30 million APY, but then when 33, but then
it goes
when
down to 28.
Yeah, the real APY of new money, which is
Mhm.
like same thing. Like Tyreek was never really a 30 million wide receiver,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I think DK's real money is at 30 in new money. But
Mhm. Yeah.
so we just talked about a guy who is coming off of a career year. Now it's a guy who's coming off of a career down year, and DJ Moore. I'm pretty sure we're probably 3 for 3. Maybe even 5 for 5 if we group in Naples and Eli and said he's gonna bounce back.
Yeah. It might be on a different team, but he's gonna bounce back.
Really?
I'm
He's for
a
sure
big
bouncing back.
I'm a big DJ Moore guy. I've been a big DJ Moore guy since he was on the Panthers. Like I'm a big fan of his. I
He
think
was
he's
a
a
top
talented wide
7
receiver.
wide receiver with Justin Fields
Yeah.
thrown to him. So
I just think that the Bears have like they disheartened him maybe more than anything else. The fact that they can't figure it out, the fact that they went out and got the first overall pick and they still super dysfunctional. Like we saw him give up on routes and walk off the field in the middle of a play. Like he's just so distraught by this organization that I think if he got traded, that's the best case scenario for him. So I'm not saying he should force his way to get a trade, and I do think that if he waits it out with the Bears this year, the Bears are going to be better.
number 1 wide receiver in a Ben Johnson offense.
Yeah, like I do think that either way, DJ Moore's going to have a better season this year, but I just feel like he hates the Bears.
Not more consistent when I ask this question, but in terms of just more talent, who's more talented, him or Amon-Ra?
Him.
Amon-Ra.
No,
I think
him
Amon-Ra
by a
is-
mile.
Amon-Ra is great at what he does. He's a tight end. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a tight end.
DJ's bigger and faster.
He's a lot
Amon-Ra's
faster.
way more consistent,
Yeah.
but
He's a better route. They're a pretty similar route runner, I'd say, actually.
so you could have DJ doing all of DJ Hora Dunze doing all those Amon-Ra routes. Like,
Yeah.
do you think? So when you say that, do you think DJ could get traded before the deadline or at the deadline? I'm assuming not before the regular season.
He's not
but
holding out, is he? He's there.
No, he's
I don't
there.
think he'll
He's
get
there.
traded. They want to keep building around Caleb Williams.
It does,
They
because
just
Josie
have
brings up a good
brought
point.
They brought in Luther Burden. They brought in Colson Loveland. They brought in Roma Dunze.
They also have,
he was
and
part of a trade.
they
for
have
the pick.
Zacchaeus,
Like, he was,
who Zacchaeus has been a good role
yeah,
player
along
everywhere
with
he's gone.
Zacchaeus, yeah.
Like,
They still have Cole Kmet. Like I just think at some point this season, somebody's getting traded out there from the wide receiver team, whether it's Cole Kmet or whether it's DJ Moore. I think those are the top two names at the top of my list. So, like, if somebody gets traded out there because there's too many mouths to feed, it's one of those two guys.
it's a miracle you bringing up him walking off the field that he's on the roster now. Last season was so ugly.
Yeah, well, all the chatter around the Bears leading up to the trade deadline was that he wasn't going to be there. That he
It was
gonna get
giving
traded,
like OBJ and Baker Mayfield vibes. Like him and Caleb just did not get along at all. But, so that's gonna be interesting.
yeah.
Are you big on Odunze this year?
Bigger than I was last year. I do think that if you go like 2 years in the future from right now, Odunze is probably the number one there. So I do think that he's a legit wide receiver. I just think they need to figure some stuff out. Did you see what his dad tweeted out during the season last year? Somebody tweeted out and said if Odunze was on any of the other NFC North teams, he would have had 1,200 yards receiving. His dad quote tweeted and said 1,500.
Yeah.
Like, which I mean, I don't think they're
No.
necessarily wrong.
Ah,
1,500 yards for Roma Dunze?
That's a ton, dude.
Yeah, I know.
That,
Like he's
would that have led the league in yards last year? Second, it would have been
yeah,
maybe
close.
third behind
Third.
Jay Jettis.
top five.
I think top three.
It would have been at least top five. I know that.
I don't
No.
know.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
just
think
Jamar,
that.
what? Jamar, 16 something.
Jamar.
17 something.
I think Jamar might have had 17, 18.
Yeah.
And I think Jay Jettis was like 100 behind him. And then was London at 3? Was it a Monra?
For a while, it was before his injuries. George Pickens was at 3.
Finished with under 1,000 yards.
Jared Judy was top 5.
Oh yeah,
Jared
that's
Judy was
That's
5.
crazy.
He might have been number 5.
Jerry Judy. Do you think he winds up on this list?
yeah, he's on that list.
No, he's not.
Really?
He's not. Cooper, you're gonna. I'm gonna read the. So, is there anybody? I'll give you our 91 right now. Nnamdi Madubuike. Is there anybody in this top 10 that you don't think should be, or in this 100 through 91?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Andrew Thomas, Colton Miller, Jalen Hurts, Deion Dawkins, Quinn Menieres, Tyler Smith, Bobby Wagner, Benito, DJ Moore, and Madubuike. And I get it. There's a lot of offensive linemen, and we're not offensive line experts, but.
Go ahead, you first.
I feel like Andrew Thomas should be. I don't know. I feel like he should almost be higher.
No, all right. Is there anybody that you think
But no,
is not?
I don't think so.
And I think that's going to be the case with a lot of these guys. Like that, it's really hard, or it's not an
Yeah.
indictment.
All right, ready? Jamar Chase, 1708. Justin Jefferson, 1533. BTJ, Brian Thomas Jr., 1282. Drake London, 1271. Amon Ra, 1263. And then 6 was Jerry Judy, 1229. 2 rookie wide receivers, because Malik Neighbors is number 7, went over 1,200. And then Brock Bowers almost at 1,200. So 3 rookie wide receivers went up
In
over
the top 10.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you're still listening to us after an hour and a half,
Appreciate you.
yeah, sure, there's a ton of you. Those are players 100 through 91. We will for sure next week at the very least do 90 through 81, depending on if anything newsworthy happens or if me or Josie have any ideas. We might do more, but we'll for sure do 10 a week ahead of the regular season. Last year we did the most iconic players 0 through 99, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We're doing this year instead. Another update. Obviously Cooper's back. We'll see how long he's back. It might just be for a week because that's how Cooper rolls. That whenever we're about to just give Cooper the boot, he comes back and we're like, all right, we'll keep him around, and then he doesn't show up for another month. Eli, I think, will be here next week. Naples should be back as well, and then me and Josie, we don't miss. So, but
That's what would happen if I ever missed. Guess we'll never know.
Facts. We're gonna start recording on Mondays though. We record on Tuesdays, and then we typically post either Tuesday night or Wednesday afternoon. Instead, we are going to record on Mondays and then post Tuesday afternoon, most likely. So you guys get some second and short content a little bit sooner in the week.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we can post this one on Spotify because the computer did just shut down, but it says it's still been recording. So we have an hour and 27 minutes of record time. So I should probably end things there. Any final words?
T's and P's.
See you guys hopefully soon.
Go Rodgers, go.
Yeah.
Just
Stay up
not
to-
double check.
Stand up and do it, and that'll be our wrap up. Okay.